Hello, I am RM Punk, and this is the Punk Wrestling Podcast, AEW Revolution review. Let's get into it, shall we? It was a good show, let's not forget this. There was plenty of good wrestling, plenty of fun to be had, there were surprises, and there was a very disappointed end to it. But it was still fun. We'll go through it all and see what was good, see what was bad, and get to it, shall we? We started off in the pre-show, Britt Baker and Reba versus Thunder Rosa and Rio. However, Reba's injured. Britt says she cannot compete, and she got a second opinion from another doctor because they didn't believe her, even though she's a doctor. But they've managed to convince the doctors that she's unable to compete, and her replacement is Maki Ito. Oh, she was so fun. I love her. She's brilliant. Yeah, she's so cute. She was just a good show, and she's very mean, but still very enjoyable. This is a fun little match. This wouldn't be out of place in a house show. But yeah, it was a good back and forth. And in the end, Britt Baker won the match when Reba hit Rosa with her crutch, furthering that storyline. So yeah, no, it was a nice pre-show match. What are you going to expect? It was good. So we get to the main show, and we have the Young Bucks defending the tag team titles against Jericho and MJF. Wardlow was watching from ringside and was a factor throughout this match. This was not one of the best Young Bucks matches you're going to see. There are better matches to be seen. However, it was still a fun match. There was a lovely super kick party back and forth with MJF. They did a stereo super kick onto Jericho when he was trying the Lion Salt. At one point, Jericho inadvertently hit Wardlow with the Judas effect, I believe, at one point. So we got some miscommunication there. And in the end, Bucks win with the Meltzer driver onto Jericho to retain. Now, later in the night, Jericho announced on Dynamite there will be a Inner Circle War Council meeting, and changes will be made. So this is likely where MJF executes his plan to take over the Inner Circle. That's where I see this going. But let me know what you thought. But yeah, it was a good match. Just it wasn't the best Young Bucks match you're ever going to see, but it was still fun and it was a good opener. Next up, however, was the Casino Tag Team Battle Royale, which was a very fun match. This was great. I couldn't go through every moment with you here. It would take me forever. But it was just a very good match. Their best Battle Royale by far, I believe. Bit of a key moment, QT Marshall eliminated the Gun Club. And Dustin Rhodes is not happy with that because they're a part of the Nightmare family, and you know they shouldn't be eliminating each other early on. And QT's like sod ya and eliminates himself and leaves. So we get some story points there. He might be leaving the Nightmare family. Luchasaurus was a bright point early on, hitting lots of big power spots, big choke slams, etc. Very much the core component was Dress Express early on. And then to the end, we had Death Triangle enter the match, and just wow. Absolute wow. Ray Phoenix and Pac are the best. Like, unbelievable wrestling. In the final four was Jungle Boy, Johnny Hungy, and Death Triangle, Pac, and Phoenix. Phoenix hit a wonderful, like, death-defying dive through the ropes. But he was such a speed and such height when he went out that he went over the barrier. That was just wow. Ray Phoenix eliminates Jungle Boy to win the match. So down the line, we are getting Pac and Phoenix versus the Young Bucks. Yes, please. Let's go. After that, we had the women's title match. Shikara Shulu versus Mizunami. This was a much better show for Mizunami. If you did see my AEW Dynamite review from last week, where I felt her strikes weren't hitting right, this was a strong style match. This was a great Japanese style, strong style, and it was very fun to watch. In the end, Sheila does retain here off a corkscrew knee. There might have been one too many false finishes before this, but it was still, like I said, I enjoyed it. So that's what matters to me. Let me know. After the match, Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, and Maki Ito attack Mizunami Shida makes a save, but it's still 3-on-2, and Thunder Rosa comes out to make the save there, setting up a 6-person tag team match for Wednesday night. All good there. Next up, we get Miro and Kip versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy, but before the match could even start, before the entrances, Miro has attacked Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. He drags Taylor out to the ring to start the match. This was Miro's show. He was an absolute beast here throughout, before, during, and after. He pushed Taylor into Penelope at one point. So Kip's looking after Penelope, but Kip is the legal man, and Miro's like, what you doing, drags it, throws him into the ring, and Kip tags straight back out again, and Miro wins the match on his own here, with Kip looking after his wife. Yeah, this was a highlight. He won the match with game over. Yeah, I think he can move on from this angle now. We can start feuding maybe with Kip, and then move on to start his real journey as a singles beast in AEW. So, good. Next up, the big money match. Matt Hardy versus Hangman Adam Page. This was a good match here. I won't go through every story beat, but in the end, the Dark Order come out to save Adam Page after the Private Party had got involved quite a bit. And they catch Page as he's falling from the apron, and they push him back up, and he transitions seamlessly into the buckshot lariat for the win, and gets the first quarter earnings from Matt Hardy. And after the match, he brings the Dark Order in for a hug in a lovely, sweet moment. Good. See? All good stuff so far. Next up, the Face of the Revolution match. Cody, Penta, Lance Archer, Scorpio Sky, Max Caster, and the surprise entrant for the ladder match, Ethan Page, formerly of Impact. I don't know much about Page. I don't watch a lot of Impact, and I'll be honest, he didn't really impress me much in this match here. The match, however, was a lot of fun, with some nice ladder spots throughout, including a Canadian Destroyer from Penta onto Cody on a ladder that was draped between the barrier and the ring. That was nice. There was like a razor's edge onto the ladder. There was a blackout onto the ladder. There was plenty of nice spots here. As all the competitors try to reach for that brass ring. Now, where have I heard this before? But it was a actual big old brass ring. It looked more like something else, Sonic the Hedgehog, but yes, it was a brass ring. In the end, Scorpio Sky talks to Cody at the top of the ladder. My time is now. Pushes him off the ladder and wins and grabs that brass ring. So he will get a future TNT title shot. Good. I was happy with that. I was quite happy with Scorpio winning. Seems like a good choice. No qualms there. Next up, the big announcement. The latest signing for AEW, a Hall of Fame worthy talent. It's Christian Cage. I'll be honest, I was happy with this. The hype went a bit too far online with things of Punk and Brock, and that just isn't going to happen. Brock's not going to sign for AEW ever. I just don't see it. Punk might do when there's fans back, but this would be a waste of him signing at this point. And Christian is, of the others that you had left, you had sort of Kurt Angle, you could think of RVD, and really Christian. Like, wait, Booker T? Like, no, he still works for WWE. You know, he is a great signee. He's in good shape. He obviously wants to work. Like, it's apparently he called Tony Khan and asked, saying he wants to wrestle in AEW. WWE obviously weren't interested in giving him a full-time role, getting him in the ring much, maybe it's like the odd appearance kind of thing, and that's not what he wants. He wants to go to work. So, fair play to him. He is an asset to AEW, and he's a very good signing, in my opinion. So let me know what you thought. Were you disappointed? Were you hyped? What do you reckon? I was like, yep, good choice. Next up, we get the street fight, and this was a cinematic match. Darby and Sting versus Team Taz, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. as cinematic matches go, this was nearer the top. This is nearer the top end. It's not going to be a Firefly Funhouse, but nothing is going to be a Firefly Funhouse, but it is near that top echelon. It was a good match. Very well produced. You could see that Darby Allin probably had a big part, especially in the entrance, a lot of skating. It was just the way it was shot was really good. There was some nice spots throughout. Darby hits a couple coffin drops and hits coffin drop through the floor at one point. It's in like an abandoned warehouse type thing. It was nice. In the end, though, there is a ring there, and Sting does win with the Scorpion Death Drop to the surprise of no one. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, cinematic matches. I think I said before, this highlights Sting as best you can. He is getting on, but he still has it. And a cinematic match hides his faults, hides his weaknesses, and it accentuates all the positives. And that's what you want, really. With someone, an icon of that age, you want to show them at their best. And this does that. So it was good. And we get to the main event of the evening, a exploding barbed wire death match. And oh, how this match made me smile. That's all I have to say on it. I was practically giddy on the stream. Some great spots, Attitude Era stuff here, plenty of blood, bang for your buck. There was a paradigm shift from the apron onto the explosive barbed wire table on the outside. Boom! In the end, the Good Brothers get involved. Omega hits Moxley with an exploding barbed wire baseball bat, which was nice. And he hits a one-winged angel onto a chair for the win. Then we get to the climax. So, in the rules, it was stated after 30 minutes, the ring would explode. No matter whether the match was over or not, the ring would explode. So we've got a couple of minutes left here, and Omega and the Good Brothers are continuing to beat up on Mox. They handcuff him, and as the timer starts counting down closer and closer to like 40 seconds, a minute to go, they scarper. You know, leaving him Moxley in the ring, out cold, handcuffed. Eddie Kingston comes down and he tries to make the save. He tries to save his once friend, then enemy, now friend again. And tries in vain to lift him and get him out the ring, but he can't. He can't make it in time. And as the counter times down from 10, Eddie, in a selfless act, covers over Moxley to protect his friend. And then 0 hits, and we get the most anticlimactic sparkler show I have seen in wrestling. Gilbert would be unhappy with this amount of sparkler, and Kingston sells it like he is dead. Oh, this didn't work. It just didn't work. But like I said, this shouldn't take away from what was a great show. You can tell I loved everything on here. Everything was enjoyable. There wasn't anything I really didn't like up until this finish. But it does it's what you think of. It's the last thing that happened. It's what's going to stick in your mind. They've kind of turned it to be like, well, this is what you get when Kenny builds something that he drew off of crayon, and it's his fault, it was all a dud. But why did Eddie Kingston sell it like he was dead? So that's my review. I hope you enjoy the show. Give me a like, share and subscribe. I will be streaming this evening, probably about 7 p.m. UK time, doing some gaming, just have a bit of fun. So you can join me in chat and let me know what you thought of the video. It would be great. And I will speak to you all soon. Catch me tomorrow for my Raw review. Thank you. Peace, love, like, subscribe. Good night.